Hello, and welcome to my new series, My Singing Journey, where each week I will detail one step that I took in my journey of learning how to sing by myself at home. I also will be sharing tips and resources on how you can take this step as well, and you can learn to sing at home. This is week 1, Meet Your Voice. So before we even start singing, we need to know what we're working with, of course. We want to know what we sound like from the beginning. The first step in that is going to be finding your range. Now, the easiest way to find your range is to simply start singing scales and go ascending to the highest note that you can hit and then descending down to the lowest note you can hit. I'm able to hear scales and sing them, but that's definitely not the case for everyone. It's different for everyone. So if you don't know how to do so, please feel free to check out my TikTok or my Instagram where I'm posting short videos on how to sing a scale. Once you can hit that first scale, you're going to want to try to see if you can hit the next scale. So start with the next note up. You don't have to jump a whole octave. Don't play the next C, but play a D and go on the scale up from that. If you need to use sites to help you pitch, you definitely can. I personally like to use Singing Carrots. Now, I do want to give the caveat that these things aren't always 100% accurate, so keep in mind that you might want to do this a couple times to just verify the accuracy. For example, I had one tell me one time that I had hit like a G9 or something, which is, it's pretty impossible. The highest note I can hit is a C6, so that's like 3.5 octaves above the highest note I can possibly hit. So just keep in mind that they can pick up on random sounds sometimes, especially if they're like AI powered. The AI might just get the wrong message or the wrong coding or something. Even if you're not perfect, you just want to be able to ascend and descend. That's the main goal here. And you're going to want to ascend as high up as you comfortably can. And I want to stress comfortably because you can push it, but that's how you damage your voice. We will work on safely extending our range later on. Don't worry, we will get to it, but please make sure that you're keeping your voice safe and comfortable for right now while we're on the first step. So you're going to want to extend your voice as high up as you can. And then once you know your upper range, once you've ascended as high as you can, you're now going to want to know the bottom end of your range. So you're just going to want to do the same thing in the reverse, do a descending scale. You can continue through scales in order. It's definitely a lot easier to do with a piano than the way I'm doing it, which is just by ear. But just go down as far as you comfortably can. And then you're going to want to use an app or a website that will help to analyze the notes for you. Make sure that you check multiple times just to kind of verify. You also may have a range. Don't be discouraged or confused if your lowest note one time that you do it is a D2, and then the next time you do it, it's a B2. If it's off by a few notes, that's totally normal. It may be because you're not warmed up yet. It may be that you've stretched your voice further down by doing the scales, and so now you're able to go down further. It could be several factors. Don't be discouraged. It is normal to have kind of different fluctuations in your voice, and we'll learn more how to handle that further down the road. But the first step's just figuring out kind of home base. Once we get further down the line, we're going to learn how to support higher notes and how to warm up our lower range so that we can support those lower notes as well. But right now, we want to know our current working range. And once you know that, then you can move on to the next step of getting to know your voice. The next step in getting to know your voice is going to be getting to know your natural tone. Tone is something that can be adjusted, but that's definitely something that takes a while to learn and get into. So for right now, you're going to want to learn to work with your natural tone. Now, what a tone is sort of just how your voice sounds, right? So if you sound light and airy, your tone might be more light and airy. If you sound kind of more low and grungy, that's also your tone. So we want to learn to work with our tone as it is, just to kind of familiarize ourselves with our own voice. How you're going to do that is simply by singing songs that are in the range that you've found. Once you've figured out what notes are within your range, you will be able to write down, my range is this note to this note. Just write your lowest note to your highest note, and that is your range.
Now from here, you may want to look into, if you're curious what voice type you are, you can look into the different voice types and compare them to the notes that are in your range. I would say this is something that you can look into if you're curious, but when you're first starting out, it's not necessarily something that you need to know. For example, I can hit notes from the tenor range up to the soprano range, and I'm not interested in putting myself in a box at this point in time. I'm just interested in knowing that my range is an A2 to a C6. That's all the information that I need to know. Once you've figured that out, the next step is going to be just to record yourself singing. Pick a song that you know from your favorite musical or your favorite artist, or a band you heard yesterday playing on the street. Pick any song within your range. And how you're going to do that is you can look into a few songs that you can kind of hear, okay, can I hit that? You can try singing along to it and you'll be able to tell, oh, well, I don't think I'm kind of stressing my voice here. I don't think that's my voice range. Once you do find one that's in your range, you can record yourself singing it. But you want to record yourself singing, I would say, at least 2 minutes of a song, because you want to get that range of notes. You want to try to record yourself singing your full range of notes. You don't have to go all the way down to the bottom and all the way up to the top, but we do kind of want to get a good scale in there so that you can tell, okay, this is kind of what I sound like when I sing low notes, and this is what I sound like when I sing high notes. And that's where you'll be introduced to your natural tone. We will go over changing tone later on in the series. That's actually something that I'm currently working on right now. But tone is something you naturally have, and it is something that you can alter, but it's definitely a more advanced step. So we want to learn to work with our natural tone at first. What this doesn't mean is that, oh, I can't ever sing my favorite song because I sound operatic and airy and lighty and fluffy when I sing high notes, and they sound, oh, so cool and grungy, and I can't sound like that, so I can't ever sing that song. That's not what that means. What that means is you still want to learn that song, and we will get into learning the correct notes for it in the next few videos. But you really just want to focus on your range. If you find a song that you like that's in your range, that is definitely the ideal first song to start with, just to practice. Even if it sounds light and fluffy and airy, but it's by your favorite punk artist, that's okay. We can fix that step further down the line. Right now, what you really want to focus on is just getting a recording of yourself singing so that you can watch it back and you can see what you sound like singing certain notes.
My name is Regina George, and I am a massive deal. I will grind you to sand beneath my Louis Vuitton heel. This is what I get for helping someone limb fit in. Katie Heron, enjoy your temporary win. Whoa, I wanna watch the world burn. I got the gasoline. I wanna watch the world burn and everyone turn mean, mean, mean. I wanna watch the world burn. I wanna make the world turn. So mean. I wanna watch the world burn.
If you can find a song like that, that's fantastic. But if not, then you can definitely also find one that's towards the top of your range and one that's towards the bottom of your range. And that's going to be the beginning of your toolkit. Once you have that, you're going to want to record yourself singing that, and you're going to want to watch it back. That way you can learn your own voice. You can learn where you have difficulties. You can learn the tone of your voice. and you can kind of learn what you want to shift about your voice as you go forward. This is also the first part of our next step, which we will get into next week, and that is choosing your song list. We'll see you back here next week so that we can choose our song lists together. Bye-bye.
Hey, so future Athena here, coming from, a couple days in the future when I'm editing this video. Since I recorded this video, I have decided to make this a monthly thing rather than a weekly thing, just because certain life changes have made me busier, and I want to make sure that I'm still getting a good amount of decent information to you guys, and I'm not rushing it and spreading any sort of confusing information. The entire point of this series is to make it easier on people, so I don't want to not do sufficient research, not be able to practice my own singing enough that I understand what I'm talking about. Like, I want to be able to completely know what I'm talking about, know exactly what I want to say to you guys, and have a well-formulated thought so that it's easier to convey. The point is to make it easier on you guys and not harder. So I definitely want to take my time with this process. I am so sorry for any inconvenience that might cause, but I will be posting every other week, bi-weekly, but each other week will be progress videos of my singing journey, and then every other week will be this series of my singing journey. So please do stay tuned for that. I'm sorry again for the mix-up, but I do hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.